Hey everyone, Tony George, Doc Sports, Monday Night Football. We got an update for you. Those of you that follow me on Twitter, you know that I'm on Philadelphia tonight, but not so fast, my friend. We'll talk about that in a minute, because that's the Circa Survivor or Circa Millions contest out in Las Vegas. Just a disclaimer here. My free play sucked over the weekend. That Purdue call may have been the worst free play call I've ever had in my life. Apologize for that. You know, stunk. But nonetheless, let's talk about this game tonight. Now, those of you that follow, and one other thing. I've been telling you for 2 months that we do a show here that gives you free 6 picks every week with myself and Griffin Murphy. That show went 5-1 this week, 4-2 the previous week, 9-3 year to date. That show went 68.7% against the spread last year. Over 100 plus game sample size. Off to a 9-3 start. Tune in. One other key thing. It's free. Find me a show anywhere on the internet, a sports handicapping podcast that is putting out those kind of numbers. Yeah, a guy can pick one free pick for you, like tonight. I'll give you a couple, actually, in this game. Tune in. All right. Now, I put out my Circa Millions picks over on Twitter at TGeorgeSports. Follow me at TGeorgeSports. Went 4-0 yesterday. I have the Philadelphia Eagles, and the 9 now is minus 5.5. Total's around 48. But I took them at 6.5 for the contest. I'll tell you why. Contest strategy versus handicapping strategy in terms of service plays is totally different. You take a wild stab at stuff, and you take a wild stab at things that don't make any sense. And laying 6.5, even 5.5 on a Monday Night Football game is crazy. It's crazy. It's a bad number. We're betting numbers. We're not betting games. 5.5, 6.5 in the NFL, betting on favorites is very dangerous. Begging you to take Atlanta. Begging you. Well, I took them. The Eagles. I went against conventional wisdom. Because contest, you're trying to win millions of dollars and $250,000 in the first 4 weeks. We had a 3-2 week. I'd love to be 8-2 after 2 weeks in that contest. That put me up there in the upper echelon at least. So yes, I did tweet that out that I'm hoping for the Eagles tonight. That being said, I don't necessarily love it. I don't like the game at all, actually. It was a line that made no sense to me, so I'm just going to go unconventional wisdom, just contest strategy. That being said, there could be 4 or 5 guys where they have 6, 7, even an 8-unit game of the year on this thing tonight, for all I know. That's why we have 12 different handicappers. Different perspectives, different angles, different handicapping techniques, different ways of looking at games. It's like Baskin Robbins. You have more than one flavor. Well, I'm not in love with this game at all, honestly, side or total. As you saw yesterday, and I put out a tweet, again, follow me, yesterday that said, yesterday was a perfect example as why you don't put a ton of stock into what you saw the week before when you're handicapping this week's games. I can give you examples all day long. Well, one thing I know, I had Atlanta in week 1 as a premium play, and they sucked against Pittsburgh. They looked lost. They looked horrible. And Pittsburgh's not a huge offensive threat. You saw that yesterday on display out in Denver. They're just not a big offensive threat, and I didn't know what the quarterback situation was. I don't think anybody still does. Pardon me, it chokes me up. But I watched that Pittsburgh-Atlanta game with a buddy of mine, Paul, out in Vegas, who is a monster Steelers fan. In week 1, I watched that game. And I had Atlanta, and I was, I took my medicine. Lost $500 on them too. But their offensive line was overwhelmed. Now, Philadelphia does not have a TJ Watt. A TJ Watt is a game wrecker. He is the best defensive end in the NFL. And there's a lot of them out there that are really good, that are close. Crosby, another one for the Raiders. I mean, you can go down the list of defensive ends that wreak havoc. But their offensive line was overwhelmed and Kirk Cousins had no time to throw the ball. Thus, I think that's still going to be the case tonight. And although Philadelphia played real crappy against Green Bay and could have easily lost that game down in Brazil, they've had added time to get ready for this game. They have more weapons on offense, despite the fact that A.J. Brown is out, which is a huge blow. That's a huge blow. They got Dotson in free agency, and they got a couple others, and they got Shaquan Barkley at running back, and they have a quarterback that can go for 85 yards tonight running the football if he wanted to. Jalen Hurts is a very, very dangerous quarterback. He's a dangerous cat. He's like Lamar Jackson, but he's a better thrower. First half line, Philadelphia, -3. That's a manageable number. I could see him up by a touchdown at halftime. Now, on the prop market side of things, Kirk Cousins is going to have a lot of time, not going to have a lot of time to throw the ball tonight. Under 34.5 yards, longest completion. Under. That's like -115. That's probably a better bet than the side pick. The total number is pretty sharp, in my opinion. I mean, it could be a shootout. Atlanta could show up. Robinson's a good running back. London's a better than average wide receiver. Pitts is a good tight end, if you get him the ball. Cousins can win you games, but it's prime time. And we all know what Kirk Cousins does in primetime games. Just a proven fact. So I'm hoping for a big Philly win tonight by a TD or more. I'm hoping for that for a 5-0 sweep in the Circa Millions. But I'll play first half line, and let's go under on Cousins on that longest completion tonight. I mean, who do they have to stretch a field vertically, really? When's he going to have that kind of time? Because he was just under duress. And also, he's extremely immobile. That Achilles injury, you could tell him. He could move around before. Much like this guy here, Dan Marino. Remember after he had that? He was already immobile. He was a statue once he had that injury. Not everybody's Kobe Bryant that can get over it. And act like they never had the injury before. Achilles tears are a very bad injury. Some people never recover from them, and Cousins looked like he was scared to death to take off. So I'll take Philly on the first half line -3, and that prop bet for you. Yesterday in the NFL, we went 3-0 on sides and totals. Top play on the Jets. Commanders money line. The under in the Houston-Chicago game, didn't have to sweat it. Yeah, Chicago has no offense. And Houston's defense is good. You saw two things there. Caleb Williams for Chicago is not ready for prime time yet, and his offensive line sucks. Second of all, Houston's a very, very, very good football team. Very good. In all areas. Talent at skill positions, and their quarterback does not turn the ball over. He's the real deal. C.J. Stroud's the real deal. No question. And he makes good decisions. Just FYI. We lost our teaser yesterday. You had some big upsets there. We had Baltimore tease down. How'd that work out? Shocking they lost that game. Shocking. Niners, shocking. Really. The Kansas City game, not shocking. Yes, the call was right in the Kansas City game. That was pass interference. We didn't get a homer call. That was pass interference. Come on. We have a 2-pack in the NFL tonight in props, 7-unit card. Yesterday, we lost we went 2-2 in props. We lost our top prop pick because Baker Mayfield decided to throw to Rashid White out of the backfield one time. for 5 yards. 1 target, 1 catch, 5 yards. Baker Mayfield has made a living out of throwing the running backs out of the backfield. We thought he would do it, and we thought that White would have over 25 yards receiving and bust a long one, either on a screen or out in the flat or a wheel route, which is what he's kind of known for. They didn't do it yesterday, and they still won. They got doubled up in yards by Detroit. They still won. Crazy day in the NFL yesterday, but we'll bounce back tonight with a 2-0 sweep. We have a 6-unit top play in Major League Baseball. We've cashed 3 out of our last 4 cards, including yesterday we had a cash. So jump on board. Get an easy money winner tonight in Major League Baseball. Doc Sports, we give you a free $60 link in the description below. Thumbs up, subscribe, go to the website. There's a tab that says free 60. We'll park it in any new account. No strings, no hassles. Comes with a profit guarantee. Fatten your wallet with some Major League Baseball tonight. We cash yesterday in the WNBA. No play today. We'll be back up on Tuesday.